So how many of you were with me 11 years ago when I made this sawdust stove? We've got a retort here. That's where we put the sawdust. And then it goes inside here and up the chimney in the back. Gets its air from the bottom. That's why we have a washing machine drum at the bottom to let the air in. This thing has worked great. It runs for about 6 hours. But we need to do some modifications. I would like to cut a round circle in here. I've got a plasma cutter. We're going to do that, and I'll show you how the experts do it. They do a pattern, so we're going to do some pattern making. Let me show you. Yes, there's a lot of activity in the neighborhood, but basically what I want to do is I want a hole that size, and because we're using a plasma cutter, we're going to need something to hold that circle while we run the tip around that, making a nice edge. But we've got to take this thin wood and make it into a proper pattern for the cutout. So for a proper pattern, what we're going to need to do is mark out the size we want, add the distance of the tip where the hole is, and cut it out there. So your boss tells you, make the pattern, just get it done. So you do it as cheap as you can, because you know the boss is a cheapskate. That's why we're using white tape and not blue tape. But this will allow you to set the plasma cutter in and cut a hole. You see it's raised up above. That way sparks and anything else can blow underneath. It's made of wood. It's only meant to last once, but we're going to need to tape it down to the plate before we can cut that out. So let's get to that. So I've got the pattern made. I've got it taped down to the sides. The boss said, stop wasting all that tape. So this Daytona plasma cutter doesn't need much for height for a pattern, as you see, so this should work just fine. But let me show you that old dog. So in the day, this was a size plasma cutter you could get. This one's probably more industrial than the ones you find at Harbor Freight. It's a heck of a lot heavier. This thing's about, I think, 215 pounds. It has the air regulator. It's got the setups. I'm cutting thin metal, so I'm only at 30%. But we'll go ahead and get this thing lit up, and I'll show you how well it works. So I've got the clamp on. I've got the air all primed up, and I'm ready to go. Now you're saying, wait a minute, don't you need safety goggles? Well, for plasma cutting, these are safety goggles. All it takes is having a pattern to run around. You're not going to have that blast like an arc welder. So let me show you. I'll just press this button here and we'll get started. Like I say, no goggles needed. I'll get to the other side there, excuse me, and we'll continue with our cut. It's easier to pull. There we go. Let's pop her out. All right, let's see if we can pop it out. There we go. We got it knocked down inside. Well, wouldn't you know, the boss is just out here chewed my butt for not saving that tape. What do you do? Go ahead and put in the comments how your boss has made your life hell. So this pan here is made to sit down inside another pan, kind of like a double boiler, but this is a fry pan, and this is what I was making it. Well, look at there, it's going to fit just fine. But I think what I would like to do is have a piece of rebar bent in that profile. That way, the bottom of the pan, it's going to be sealed, but having that extra ring around there, I don't think that would be a bad thing. What do you think? So as you can see, I'm getting ready to weld on a piece of rebar. As I weld it, I'll bend it as needed because the tail's way down there, so I've got a lot of leverage to put it into place. But the one way people that I've watched have done this is they weld it and bend it in place. Oh sure, I could make a circle out of it that's perfect, but I don't have those particular machines, so we'll go ahead and do it the Armstrong way. Well, that's going about as well as expected. I'll go ahead and cut it off here and use the C-clamps to adjust it into place. So let's take a look, see how that fits. I got some fat welds here we can take care of. Ooh, that's hot. Hot all around that rim where I've welded it. Yeah, grind a little bit off those fat welds. That's going to fit in there perfectly. Well, I spent a little bit of time with that. Got it so it sits in there nicely. And we can put the pan in it still. That all looks good. So the next step is go ahead and get the retort back inside, fill it up with sawdust, and give this thing a test run. I know, you can't hardly wait, can you? So that will put the heat right straight up to either the middle of the pan or the middle of that burner. So for sawdust or shavings, I have a vacuum system on the back of the shop that goes up through the wall, takes all the shavings from my shaper and my planer, and throws it in the barrel here. But I don't have enough sawdust right now. So let me show you how I'm going to take care of that. I always have wood from the sawmill that needs planed down to be a nice board. This is a live edge here, and I have somebody that wants this. They'd rather have it planed down. So, kill two birds with one stone, make some nice wood, and get me some sawdust, some shavings. And I'm going to use the planer here. On the other side of the wall is the vacuum. You hear it running? We're already pulling up the chips, anything left in there from last time, so we'll get rolling on this. So, how much shavings did that get me? Oh yeah, we got us a mess. Let's see if we can fill up that retort with that wood chips. And just like I was showing you 11 years ago, we have our retort here, has a hole in the bottom. We have to have our sawdust tube. This way, when we mash all that sawdust in, we have a tube up the center. Like I say, if you watch my other video from 11 years ago, you know all about this. So these are wood chips off the shaper. I think it makes better fire. But you have to mash it down as you go. More and more layers of that you're mashing down. You have to have that tight for this to work, because we're going to pull that tube. Yeah, this is my fishing melon thumper. I made that in school in 1974. Well, that took most all of the shavings I had from the planer to fill that and mash it down good. We have to put vermiculite on top of this. And the reason why, if flame just comes up here, it would catch the top on fire. The vermiculite is a product of a volcano, I forget where, but it's actually rock. It's very light. They use it in flat patio stores for keeping the soil aerated and holding moisture. Of course, perlite's good for that too, but we're using vermiculite. As you see, I have about 3/4 of an inch space on the top, and that's the perfect time to put your vermiculite on. Let me show you. So you can buy vermiculite at any plant patio store. What it is, like I say, is a volcanic ash, and it's non-flammable. A lot of people use this for insulation in their attic. But we just have a layer on top, and like I say, that's to keep the top of that from catching fire. So let's get it loaded up inside the stove. So this is why I've got a hinge on it. Get that set down inside, and it dropped right into the tube I have on the bottom. I can turn that to get the hole more in the center. There we go. That looks good. And then, so now we can pull that tube out. So you can see a hole all the way down through the center. That's what we want. This way, the air will come through the holes in the washing machine drum, up through the center. The flame will put heat right to the bottom of that fry pan or that burner disc. Sound good? Let's go ahead and cook something, but that'll be on the next video. So in review, I'm linking the video from 11 years ago where I made this to show you how it works. Next week, we'll go ahead and light this up and cook on it, and you'll know just exactly how well that works when you see that it'll last for 6 hours.